Hi everyone, welcome to this unit where we'll be studying the poems and poem fragments of Sappho. Just wanted to show you something here behind me, just in case it kind of ends up being visible, but if you look behind me there, that's a painting that my daughter made in high school art of Donny Osmond after watching The Masked Singer in the first season where he was a contestant. So Donny Osmond was part of my childhood when I was growing up, and so now it's part of hers because, you know, she really started enjoying his music when he was on The Masked Singer. So you can see a tail off to, it's my left, and I'll show you, that's my coin-op horse that I keep in my den. So anyway, rode that when I was a kid at a local discount store. So anyway, if you see weird stuff in the background, wanted you to know what it was. Get it out of the way now so you can focus on what we're talking about with Sappho. So let me get some things here. We study Sappho because of her influence during her time. A lot of information about Sappho has been lost, quite honestly. Scholars think she might have been born around 620 BC, but even then she was not the first female poet. That honor would actually go to Enheduanna, who was born to Mesopotamian conqueror Sargon the Great in about 2285 BC. And actually Enheduanna is the world's first known poet by name. While both women writers were born into either royalty or aristocracy, we have more remnants of Sappho's work remaining. Enheduanna captured the culture of Mesopotamia in her poems, written to and about deities and the cultural traditions of Sumeria and Mesopotamia. Sappho's poetry, however, takes on a variety of themes, mostly focusing on relationships with people. Some scholars point out that her poems are written to young girls who were possibly students of hers. Perhaps she was a teacher of other girls who were born into aristocracy. We don't know that for sure. Others point out that the love affairs she writes about are also seemingly to young girls or other women. It's important to keep this into perspective. Today, an adult teacher having a sexual or romantic relationship with a young student is taboo. Then, however, this type of relationship, called pederasty, was actually quite common, more common as we see in remnants of culture in males with older men and then boys. But Sappho's poetry actually shows us that this kind of relationship was also possible during that time for women. And because Sappho was from the island of Lesbos, and because of her love of other females, the term lesbian grew to represent same-sex relationships among women. And that term is fairly new in terms of historical perspective, coming about 1800s. But Sappho's poetry isn't just about same-sex lovers. In a recent discovery, a poem uncovered appears to be a poem about her brothers. The fact that this was found in recent years gives us hope that perhaps other Sappho poems are out there that just haven't been discovered yet. Sappho was a lyric poet, meaning that her poems were meant to be performed while playing a lyre, which is this little stringed instrument that looks like a mini harp. She's credited with inventing the plectrum, which basically is an ancient version of a guitar pick. While we only have a small amount of poetry by Sappho still existing, it gives us a glimpse into the culture of women, at least the culture of educated, aristocratic women of the ancient times. Her wit is strong in the poem that begins with what seems to be a prayer to Aphrodite, but Sappho shifts the tone to create kind of the self-mocking poem. She's making fun of herself, showing that she can and is willing to have a little fun at her own expense. Her other poems use similes and personification to create this foundation of description that really adds to the beauty of her poetry. In this brief section, you'll read Sappho's poetry and contribute your discussion post and replies. And you should also watch the video and read the article that I put in your Sappho folder to help increase your understanding of this material. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys have a great week.